This happened to me a few years ago. After a serious altercation between my parents, I ended up without a home. Don't worry. Everything's fine now. We've made up since then. But at the time, things got out of hand. And yeah, bringing drugs into the house definitely didn't help. I was 18, broke, and desperate. Not my smartest moment. Getting kicked out, though, forced me to straighten out my life. Before that, I was just sitting at home all day playing Xbox, doing absolutely nothing. My parents' frustration had been building for a while, and eventually, it all boiled over. So I needed a job. A friend of mine worked at the local movie theater and told me they were always hiring. Staff turnover was apparently insane. So I reached out, and within 3 days I had an interview lined up. When I showed up, he just smirked at me, and we both laughed as I walked into the interview room. He asked a few basic laid-back questions. Nothing serious. At the end, he just said, "Yeah, Brian, you've got the job." It felt more like a formality than anything. By the end of the week, I had my uniform, my schedule, and I was officially getting paid. I even moved in with that same friend for a few weeks just to get back on my feet. Honestly, those were some good times. The job itself was easy. The theater was in a small town and it was the only one around, so weekends were busy. But weekdays were dead quiet, especially during the day. But there was one thing about that place. It was old, really old, built sometime around 1910, I think. And it had a basement, a big, dark, unsettling basement. We had to go down there every now and then to store old movie posters, cardboard cutouts, and leftover promotional stuff. Things we might reuse for events or giveaways. Management liked to keep everything instead of throwing it away. But that basement, it was creepy. The lights took forever to turn on. Those flickering delayed ones people used to call stagger lights. The place smelled damp, felt cold, and always gave me this strange sensation, like someone was watching me from the darkness. It was massive too, almost like an underground parking lot, with huge support pillars everywhere. At the far end, there was this small booth with a glass window. To this day, I have no idea what it was for. Security, maybe? Not that we even had security. Most of the stuff down there had been forgotten. Old boxes, broken equipment, random junk from years ago. And even though we went down there fairly often, I never got used to it. After a few months, I settled into the job. I became a reliable worker, got along well with everyone, and business was doing great. Then one day, during a slow shift, my manager came up to me. "Want to do some overtime?" I said yes immediately. I needed the money. He led me downstairs. The moment we started heading toward the basement, I felt this sinking feeling in my stomach. He told me he wanted me to organize everything down there, make a full list of what we had, sort it out, and then he'd decide what to keep and what to throw away. After that, I'd need to clean and arrange whatever was left. He didn't give me a time limit, just said to come in early or stay late and get as many hours in as needed. The pay was good, and since I could work at my own pace, I figured it was worth it. So that Friday, I came in early, around 8 a.m., and since I was the only one there, I went straight down to the basement. I started going through boxes, old magazines featuring the theater, ancient posters, random merchandise, just piles of forgotten stuff. At one point, I even found an old projector and wondered if I could take it home if nobody wanted it. Everything was quiet, until I heard something. It came from the direction of that weird little booth. At first, I thought it might be a rat. I hate rodents, so I grabbed a nearby broom and slowly started moving toward the sound. Then I heard it again, a crunching noise, like cans being stepped on. I froze behind one of the pillars, trying to steady myself. Carefully, I leaned out and looked toward the booth. That's when I saw it, a pair of feet, sticking out from inside. My heart started racing. I crept closer, thinking maybe one of my co-workers was messing with me, but as I got closer, I saw his face. A homeless man. He was asleep, surrounded by beer cans, energy drink cans, old food wrappers, Just trash everywhere. He looked completely disheveled. My eyes widened. That guy was not supposed to be there. I backed away as quietly as I could, then turned and ran upstairs as fast as possible. Once I got to the top, I called my manager, even though it woke him up. There's a homeless guy in the basement. That woke him up instantly. Call the cops. Now. So, I did. But by the time the police arrived, the man was gone. We figured the noise must have scared him off. That's when we discovered something even worse. Behind the booth, there was a hidden opening, a hole that led directly into one of the back theaters. From there, you could easily slip out through a fire exit. He had been living down there, using the theater as a way in and out. It was disturbing. My manager told me he understood if I didn't want to continue the job, but I needed the money, so I told him to give me a week, and I'd finish it. In the end, it took me 3 weeks to sort everything out. We cleaned the basement, sealed off that hidden passage, and completely removed the booth. After that, everything went back to normal. Not long after, I quit and found a better job in another town, something with actual career potential. Looking back, I'm glad everything happened the way it did. It pushed me onto the right path. But to the homeless man hiding in that basement, let's never meet again.